Right, good morning. Been a hectic morning. First midgy night. The wind died about 9:15 last night. This is hold on, Friday, Saturday. Day 4. Sorry, you lose count. So what we're doing with 2 other volunteers, we're searching the woodland close to our camp. It's a plantation. We're starting at a clearing that people can walk through, and it does take a shortcut to Victoria Bridge car park. So I'm lucky, I've drawn the wide angle at the moment, but soon I'll be in the forest as well. But I am straying off to not looking where I'm going as well, straying off to some areas where some people can go down. Look, there's a track of some sorts here. Probably a deer trap. But look, there's little hideaways, isn't there? I'm hoping the dogs will pick something up if there's anything around. Rebel! So, as I was saying, yeah, it was midgy night, very midgy morning. Wind didn't really pick up, it hasn't really picked up today. Met the family. Some of the other relatives, brothers, cousins, and so on. Sorry, I'm looking as I'm talking. And it was nice to meet Kate, the daughter that I've been chatting to on Messenger and through email and so on. So you get a better perspective of Neil's behaviours, mannerisms, character, and so on. So we've decided to search this because it's right under our nose. We lost some time today due to the midges causing a problem and then meeting the family, and you know, they've moved on to go to Loch Dochard and pay the respects there because I think they're laying a plaque. So we took that time, but we've lost it. It's lunchtime, it was about 1 o'clock when we set off. So we want to cover things as best we can, and rather than walking somewhere and losing that time, we thought we'd cover this woodland that's nearby. So I'm here, we've got a guy called Dave, about 15-20 metres. I don't know where he is, he should be in line with me, but sadly he's going through a lot of thicker woodland. And there's a guy called Mike further down. And what we're doing is we're sweeping it, get to the end, turn around and sweep again further down. We might have to do it 3 or 4 times to do this section. We don't think he would have strayed upwards because he's going out of the way. But as you can see, there is a track here that leads to Victoria Bridge car park. It's a kind of shortcut as such, and it's on the map, but it doesn't really show you much. So we're thinking maybe because he had a car key given to him by his friends, he decided to take this route, even though he left his possessions. I know it's a wild card, but you've got to use every theory you can and decide what you're going to fancy, like drainage ditch. You've got to cover all these kind of things. If it's raining, you crawl in. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but you would. Or it could be in there for other reasons. Oh, yeah. Which I won't go into. Jesus Christ. Hold on, I'm going to have to turn you off. Using the camera helps what my eyes can't see. Just weeds. That's all. But look at the size of it. If you get 3 or 4 people in there. So beautiful, so quiet. I've been meaning to do this route a couple of times, but the weather either closed in or I was worried about the cows on the other end. Cows and dogs just don't get on. So what I'm looking at, I know it's undergrowth, but you can only cover what you can. But you're looking for trails. Dave should be down there somewhere if he's not gone by, so we've stayed within 15-20 feet of each other. But obviously I've got it easier up here, so I'm going to travel further. So I'm slowing down purposely to try and keep them in line. But it's so deep in there you can't see them. And we've got no means of communication like a radio or walkie-talkies. But that's what you're looking for. Oops, ditches, areas like that, where someone could have fell. I'm hoping, as I say, the dogs, if there's anything out of order, the dogs will pick a scent up. So if they show interest in something, so I stand there and just take it easy and let them go wandering, see? And sadly, if they pick something out of your bone, so I have to make them drop it ASAP, but at least I know they found something and then I can go and investigate. They can go places I can't reach due to the state of the undergrowth. It's cool in there, also midgy. We'll find out in a bit when we're going back the other way. See, like there, nice clearing there, isn't there? Kind of place someone might walk down. As I say, there's no reason for him to be up here. But we've got to cover the things right under our nose rather than go venturing out first. I took a hunch on the other day, it didn't pay off, but doesn't hurt, does it? As I say, it's very thick and very dense. That's what dogs are good for. Like, trust me, if there's anything in there that's interesting, either a smell or bone or something that would grab their attention, they'll go to it. I know my dogs too well. Right, I've got to turn you off. We'll be all day. Like a bird's nest, doesn't it? But I was checking the ground underneath, if it's firm and how it felt. Not being nasty, but it does stand out a bit. But you never know, do you? You have to cover just in case something's been covered. It's not a theory I want to go into, but it has to be explored whilst you're walking along. I tell you, it's very hot. There is a breeze. It has changed to an easterly, so that's east. So no wonder we're not getting it where we're at the tents now. I believe it's going to turn to a northerly, which will be that way. So we should get back on our tents tomorrow. So we'll see. So it could be a bad night tonight for the midges. Whew. It's going to be a hot night, I tell you, if it's like this. As the temperature suddenly drops. Whoops. It was very cold last night. I had to put the stove in at about 2:15. Soon warmed the tent up, but I had a couple of thousand midges with me. I didn't realise the tent has been constructed really well. It's got mesh, 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 everywhere you want it. Centre pole, yeah, brilliant, nice and strong. Top of the centre pole, a great big hole with no mesh. Why? So the midges get in the porch area, which is obviously off the ground, smell our lovely fumes, carbon dioxide or whatever it is, and see where rebels straying off. That's what I want to see. What's he tracking? See if he's found that. He's tracked off. Oh, no he ain't. Oh, see him tracking? I don't know if you can see it. He's picked something up. It's probably a deer from the way he's looking. Look, oh. Yeah, it looks like deer to me, the way he's behaving. See how he's scenting the ground? What you found, Rebel? He knows something went down there. Don't know if you're seeing any of this. The foliage is so deep. Still interested. He's gone over there now. I'm going to have to go down and have a look. See what he's sniffing at. Let's have a look. He's tracking, isn't he? He's gone all the way down. See what he's doing. See, he's good for that. Sorry, you ain't going to see anything. Rebel! See if he's found that. If he's found something, he won't return. Oh, is he yeah, he's returned. You right? Yeah, he's scenting. He's probably picked a deer trap. If he didn't return, he'd found that. That's the way Rebel works. I know that from the past. Maybe he's come across something odd on our trails. Where is he? That's a good sign as well. What's he following? Let's have a look. Oh, he's there. No, you're just trailing. Alright, I'm waiting for the other two. And then we'll sweep further down. But reach this one. And this one's well locked. So anyone that wanted to get through it can't get around it because it's deer fence and that's rickety as hell. And this is, I'm 5'9", and this is higher than me. Sorry if you're getting a really crunched up view. This is a good 6 foot gate. There's no way of getting, normally they would have this kind of catch on, but the bloke's decided to lock it. Here you two, this way. Out here. Go on. Down there. Down. So I'm waiting to see if we can locate Mike and Dave, the other two volunteers. And then we've got to somehow get through all this lot. It looks dense, very dense. I guess you could easily get lost in there if you got disorientated. That's where you need a compass, I think. Let's have a look. Didn't bring mine, but I've got a good one on this phone, believe it or not. Now obviously I wouldn't use this in survival conditions, but it'd be good enough for this one. Right, just met Mike, who's coming through that. I want to show people what this is like, you know, for those interested in the search we're doing. There's no way he could possibly have walked through here. Mike is being scratched to pieces coming through. Dave is struggling as well. We are waiting for Dave, but look, yes, you could. The branches are so low that you're taking your face out or your eye out, so you'd have to be basically going on all fours. So the chance of him wanting to voluntary going through this dense plantation is out of reason, you know what I mean? And it's like this all the way through, except for the odd clearing that goes diagonal, and we're seeing it all the way down there. But you know what I mean? Look at it. Typical dense plantation. Deer can get through it, but look at it. And don't forget, it would be wet, slippery, dark. You wouldn't even see these branches because it was late in the evening. If you did go in early evening, late evening, or if it was early morning, it would be the same, semi-darkness, so it'd even be worse. So there's no way. It's so dense. I'm crouching now to try and film a gap underneath, so it's not possible. I mean, this goes what seems like a mile or two, you know what I mean? So it'd be torture. You'd be basically putting yourself through so much agony, and you would literally nearly lose an eye. It's all the same all the way through, except for the odd clearing which we can look down from the top part. I just wanted to show, we tried, but even walking through it is impossible. Mike had to call it in the end because he was just getting scratched out to pieces. I think Dave's trying his best, but he's having the same problem. Dogs, this is where dogs come in handy, because if anything's in there, they'd find it. I mean, Rebel was picking out a track earlier, but I was talking to Mike and he said he saw a deer. in the central area, and that's obviously a deer's come down, left the track, and rebels picked up on the track. So that's probably a no-go in there. No way would he voluntarily go in there. It was worth a try. We're doing it. We're trying. We're thinking of everything. Oh well. Keep going. Back at camp. Dogs are resting. Mike and Dave, the other two volunteers, have gone to search. Rebel in and rest. Sorry. Rebel needs to rest. There's a tree line area just behind where Neil went missing, but it's got a high 5-foot deer fence all the way around, so I can't get the dogs in. It has got a kind of sty that goes right up and down. I don't know what the class as probably deer gates or something, but dogs can't get over that. And there is another gate, but it's about 6 foot high, but it's boarded up, so I can't get in there. So what they're planning to do is search about half a mile from where Neil went missing, just in that woodland area, just in case he went over the fence for a call of nature, you know what I mean? I don't think he did, but it's possible, so we're covering that. So I'm housekeeping. Dogs are resting. Stella's a bit stiff again. I've had dinner, so I'm tidying camp up and kind of taking away anything the dogs have left, shall we say, deposited. I've cut some firewood. I blocked this tent. I don't know if I said before, sorry, that was so much has been going off these last few days. This tent is a beautiful tent. It's a great tent. Obviously it's heavy. The vents at top, the gaps are too big, so I blocked them off, so that's that done. Yeah, the mesh netting on the doors is absolutely fine. It's brilliant. It does the job brilliant. Stops the midges. But they're still getting in by the hundreds, you know what I mean? I just couldn't understand why. And I was looking around, I was thinking they're getting through stitching. The stove jack has come away at the moment, but I'll be pushing that in and that blocks that. So I was like, how are they getting in? And last night we had a good couple of thousand in there by 10 o'clock, and of course they're eating us, disturbing the dogs. I threw blankets over the dogs in the end to calm them down, because they were eating away at the dogs. Covered the dogs' heads as such, you know what I mean? So the midges were leaving them alone. But then I felt up this centre pole, where my fingers are, all the way up, there's a gap. No mesh or anything. And what I've done is, I don't know if you'll see, I've stuffed some carry bags to block the hole up on both sides of the pole. No mesh, nothing. I was thinking like, maybe I'll put the pole up and trap some mesh or push something out of the way. There's no zip, there's no mesh, there's nothing, it's just end of seam. So what is the point of having mesh on your doors and a mesh panel down below? Like behind my cot, there's a little low floor mesh panel. Everything can be screened off and tightened up just to prevent bugs coming in, yet up the top of the centre pole there's an actual gap where there's no mesh enough there. Don't make sense, does it? Obviously they didn't think someone would be coming out to the Highlands, but even so, you're going to get bugs anywhere really, aren't you? Moths, things like that. So I suppose in the winter you wouldn't care what the critters are not too bad, are they? But when I talk to people and I mention midges in the UK, I think they think there's like where you get abroad, maybe a few flying around your head or whatever. I'm talking like thousands. You're literally covered like your hand will be covered like a black glove. There's that many sometimes. So that's why I don't want the midges in. Stove has been working brilliant. I think that's an absolute cracking stove. Works once you get going, you know what I mean? There's no issues. There doesn't have a damper. That sliding door, which I think I showed you at the front of the foot of the door, is the actual dampener. So if you close it, more or less close it, it's just burning very light. If you close it completely, then it's more or less going to die out. So it works by that actual sliding door. It doesn't have a damper in the flue or anything. I even thought the midgets were coming in that pipe and coming down the pipe, because I was just trying to figure out how they're getting out. So getting in, sorry. So yeah, it's housekeeping, tidying camp and doing a bit of housekeeping while they're away. I've got the solar charger going to be working, but I don't think we're going to get any sun. Thankfully, the breeze is picked up. It's only a gentle breeze, but it's enough. We have had basically zero breeze. As I said earlier, in that woodland that's behind us, it looks from here it's quite thin, but as soon as you get a certain distance, it's absolutely chock-a-block. So you couldn't even walk through. What I might do in a minute is I might have a gander and see how far I can go and just scan around there. We'll see. But first thing is just housekeeping, get everything tidied and how I want it, because I'd like to be ready tonight. Last night we were chatting, we had food and we were happy with that. I was doing the water filtering, that had been done, and I was going to chop some wood, and then all of a sudden the breeze went about 9:15, and literally the midges just came out of the ground like you've never seen, mate. It was unbelievable. So in the morning, of course, we had no breeze, so again got some firewood going, chuck some moss on there, and just get smoking. But that worked, but it's trying to find the right firewood when you're in a rush, you know what I mean? There's nice dry kindling. I was skimming pine at first, and the pine wood, it seems to be, you know, that little spindly stuff, it's awful. It doesn't burn very well. But I was looking for some nice, there's tons of dry kindling wood here, but it's just find it when you need it in emergency, and I didn't have it ready. So we went on the bridge. We had coffee on the bridge, and believe it or not, there was a breeze coming along the river. Not much, only about 5-6 miles an hour, but it was enough to just keep them abated. So just seeing the family of Neil Skinner, the guy that went missing. They've gone back to the hotel and they're making their way home, I think tomorrow. They said the thanks, and you could see how much they appreciated the people that come out to do the search. And you could see one or two were emotional about what happened, and it's understandable, and I felt for them. And I said I will not give up. I will be back here at least twice a year, 2-3 times a year at least, and I will be straying further afield. I've talked to Mike, one of the other volunteers, and he says he'll do it. Dave, I think, is going abroad soon, so I don't know about Dave, but as I say, we'll see what happens in the future, what volunteers join, who you know, connects with us, and through Facebook and other channels and YouTube, and what I'm doing now. I've got some posters to put up. I'll try and get one in that green hut. I'll try and book that soon, so that we can actually put a poster in there and spend some time in there and maybe amble up. It all depends on what's happening with Stella. Stella's still struggling, but she did really well today. I got to be, so that day's rest really worked for her, but she still struggles on that back leg. I'm sorry, this has been like a patched up bit and bob, but I've had people around that I don't want to be filming. I've had times when we were doing the searching that I couldn't film because other people are around again, and you've got to take into consideration other people's privacy. So I just wanted to show you what we've been getting up to and explain what's been happening. This is also for the family that I know will probably be watching the video, and you can be assured that we haven't forgotten and we will not give up. I know I won't give up, put it like that. I can't speak for others, but as far as I know, I've talked to Mike, and he says he's willing to help out in the future as well. And I'm sure, as I say, others will join. We will find him in the end. It'll be a mixture of us persevering and a bit of luck, because it is like a needle in a haystack in some ways. We just do not know which way he's gone. I will keep you updated on YouTube, and I will be spreading the word through the channel, like, you know, in different adventures and all that, keeping it going. So we'll see what happens, and as I say, I will keep everyone updated. Tomorrow, I believe, is Sunday today. Tomorrow's bank holiday. I'm sorry, you lose days when you're out in here doing this, because the days are just flying by. We're doing so much, and then it's all gone. I've been out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. So I won't be leaving here till about midday, maybe after midday Tuesday. So we'll see what happens the next day or so. I don't know what I'll be posting or what I'll be videoing, because I don't know what we're doing tomorrow either, because I think there's David's leaving tomorrow, so it's just going to be me and Mike. So I think Mike will probably persevere in the woods, and I'll have to find somewhere for me and the dogs to go. Stella might have to rest. It counts what the weather's like and how she is. If it's cool, she can rest in the tent. I left her, as I say, yesterday in the tent, and she was fine. She wasn't stressing, she wasn't anxious, she wasn't barking. Even when one or two people came to the tent, she wasn't anxious, so that's good. As long as she knows she's in a safe area, and that tent is a safe area for her. Right, that's about it. So more housekeeping, and I'll chat to you whenever. I don't know, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, maybe during the day tomorrow. We'll see. Bye for now.